make a Ugandan warlord and his so-called army of kidnapped children famous, or to be more accurate, infamous. And it's working. He posted a short documentary this week on YouTube. It's already gotten 50 million views. CNN's Brian Todd says the film has its critics, though. Quick warning for you. There are some graphic pictures in this story.
He's a warlord who experts say is responsible for the kidnapping of up to 70,000 people, many of them children. Operating first in Uganda, now in 3 other African countries, he and his militants have killed and disfigured tens of thousands of villagers, forced young boys to become child soldiers, forced girls into sexual slavery. Joseph KONY and his so-called Lord's Resistance Army have been doing this for a quarter century, trying to overthrow the Ugandan government in favor of a regime based on the 10 Commandments. He's on the run from African forces and their American advisors. But Joseph KONY's getting more attention now than ever.
Stop the rebel group, the LRA, and their leader, Joseph KONY.
That's thanks to a new video called KONY 2012. A half-hour long, it's gone viral. Tens of millions of views on YouTube in just a few days. The filmmakers used the hacktivist group Anonymous and others to blast it out over the internet. They sent tweets to celebrities like George Clooney, Rihanna, to American lawmakers. The film highlights KONY's atrocities, partly through the eyes of a former child soldier who, according to the video, saw his brother murdered.
If I saw my brother once again, I don't.
The video is produced by a non-profit activist group called Invisible Children. Filmmaker Jason Russell's goal, to gather momentum for KONY to be captured and brought to justice at the International Criminal Court.
He's been getting away with murder, and what he does is he brainwashes them, makes them kill their parents, slaughter people, cut off people's faces.
But some say this popular crusade is misleading. Critics say the film manipulates the facts, ignoring the Ugandan military's human rights abuses in its war with the LRA, ignoring the fact that Joseph KONY and his forces have been significantly reduced in number in recent months and have committed far fewer attacks. The head of Invisible Children responds.
The scale of LRA violence has decreased, which is a good thing, and it's a result of this effort.
Analyst Richard Downey applauds the group's effort to call attention to KONY. But
I take issue with their approach, very much focused on the white Westerners' ability to parachute in and resolve a problem that Africans are unable to deal with themselves. I think by portraying Westerners as the only people who can crack this problem of Joseph KONY, it's simplistic, it's naive, and it's a little bit condescending as well.
Invisible Children issued a statement saying they're not naive, never claimed a desire to save Africa. They just want Western youth to do more than just watch. Brian Todd, CNN, Washington.
Now, the filmmaker says the United States basically has ignored KONY's crimes for years, but in October, President Obama said he would send 100 U.S. troops to Africa to help hunt him down. Barbara Starr is at the Pentagon for us. So, Barbara, has that happened?
Well, it has indeed, Carol, and we know an awful lot about it now. Those 100 troops are on the ground as advisors, training, helping, and assisting African forces. The goal of the Pentagon is to put those African forces in the lead. These are military forces in Africa that very much want to do something about this. But let's face it, they need some help. So the U.S. trainers are there, U.S. Special Forces on the ground in Uganda. You see the map in the Central African Republic and South Sudan, operating out of some of the most remote areas in Africa. They are not in combat themselves, although they are equipped if the threat comes, but they are working with the African forces, especially with the Ugandans, who have made some progress by all accounts. Until they get KONY, the job's not done, and there is an effort on the part of the U.S. military to get some more reconnaissance equipment, communications gear in there, things that they can do to help the African forces. That's really the strategy for the U.S. military across the continent, Carol.
Barbara Starr at the Pentagon for us. Coming up, we'll take you live to Wall Street. The opening bell just about to ring. How will investors react to this morning's new unemployment report? We'll have the answer for you. That's just minutes away.